He is the head coach of the red-hot New York Knicks, 9 games above 500, currently 4th in the Eastern Conference, winners of 12 of their last 13 games. We welcome in the great coach himself, the one and only Coach Tom Thibodeau of the New York Knicks. Coach, what's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Doing great, Stephen A. Thanks for having me. Appreciate all your support.
Oh, my Lord.
You got to get excited about it.
I can't even put into words. Coach, put into perspective what this team has been like and what this season has been like for you. You're not just a former head coach in Chicago and Minnesota. You're a former assistant coach with the New York Knicks. What has it been like for you to be a part of this and to be basically the leader of all of this?
Yeah, well, I think we know how important basketball and the Knicks are to New York City. And so I was here during the 90s when it was unbelievable with Patrick and, Latrell and Allen Houston and Larry Johnson and all those guys. So there's that tradition. But what this game means to the city and what this team is doing, I think it embodies the spirit of the city. They're hardworking. They're fighters. They played together. They're very unselfish. And what Julius Randle is doing is just incredible.
Speak about Julius Randle for a second. I know that he's had a phenomenal season. I did not see it coming. I know he can play. He is not a scrub. But I certainly didn't expect him to be a top 5 candidate for league MVP honors. I think it's official. He's a top 5 candidate for league MVP honors. How did this happen?
Well, I think it's a testament to his work ethic. I know when he came, I asked him to come in when I first got hired in the middle of the summer. And I just wanted to spend some time with him to see where he was conditioning-wise. And he was in phenomenal shape, and we had a chance to, just talk about philosophically what we were going to try to do. And once I saw the type of shape he was in, and then when he started shooting, I noticed a big change in his shot. And I felt that was a very important component for us because that was a big concern, is our overall team shooting. And having a big that could stretch the floor and open things up for us would be huge for our team. But it was all the other things that he brought, being the first guy in, stay after practice, come in at night, and just set an example for the team. That's the best type of leadership you could have. And then his willingness to make plays for his teammates. And the challenge is not only to be great for yourself and have a great season, but also to bring out the best in everyone around you. And that's what he's done. He's been a great leader. He's been phenomenal in every aspect of the game. He's improved in every area of the game. And that has set the tone for our team.
Coach, when you took on this challenge, when you took on this job, Leon Rose, Worldwide, William Wesley, Scott Perry, and those guys, when you took on this job to join forces with them and to try to elevate the New York Knicks to a prominence they once enjoyed in the 90s at the very least, what kind of challenges specifically did you see? What was missing that needed to be infused in this franchise in your estimation?
Well, every challenge is different. And I think what goes into winning stays the same. And even though the game was played a lot differently in the 90s and the early 2000s, the game evolves and changes, but what the winning characteristics are the same. Commitment to defense, discipline, sharing the ball, being low turnover, rebounding the ball, playing inside out, playing for your teammates, playing with an edge. I think that embodied all the winning teams. You can go back to the championship teams of the 70s and then the 90s teams. And we wanted to get back to that. Just start with building a foundation, establish a work ethic, build winning habits. And we felt if we could take care of that and build each and every day, we would improve. And I didn't know where it could go, but I did believe we could win. And so we were fortunate to sign a number of veterans that could help build that foundation. And when you look at the makeup of the team and you see an Elfrid Payton, a Derrick Rose, Reggie Bullock, and Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel, Taj Gibson. Those guys have helped us tremendously. And our young guys, the growth of R.J. Barrett has been huge for us. And then Mitchell Robinson, prior to getting hurt, was just starting to take off. And we feel like we have elite rim protection. We have a willingness of each guy to make plays for each other. And what was a big concern was the shooting. And I believe we're third in three-point field goal percentage right now. And that's a testament to guys being able to get into the paint, spray the ball out, and make the right reads.
Coach Tom Thibodeau, obviously you've been known as a great coach for many years, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. It's no accident nor a surprise to anybody that the New York Knicks are the #1 defensive team in the NBA, giving up a little bit over 104 points per game. But, when you look at your career, you were a head coach in Chicago, you departed from there. You were a head coach in Minnesota, you departed from there. You talk about the evolution, the adapting and then evolving of this team as players. You as a coach, what adjustments do you believe you've made, if any at all, compared to what we saw in the past that's really helping you enjoy the success that you're enjoying right now as head coach of the New York Knicks?
Well, I think every year you want to learn and grow. So I think it's important at the conclusion of the season to look back and look at the things that you felt you did well, things that you didn't do as well as you would have liked, and then to also think about how the game is changing and how you can get ahead of it. So every time I've had an opportunity to spend some time away from the game, I try to visit different teams. You can learn from everybody. It could be any industry, but you just meet with leaders. It's leadership, and the challenge is you have to connect. And so you're getting older, players are getting younger. It's important to see what's going on, and I felt that was a big part of it. But then you have to have the right type of players. You have to have serious-minded players that are disciplined and willing to work and play for each other. And we're fortunate we have that. We have a great group of guys that each day they come in, they put everything they have into each and every day. And that's why we're in the position we are today.
Coach, I am shocked when I look at this team. I see Julius Randle shooting better than 41% from three-point range. I see R.J. Barrett shooting nearly 40% from three-point range. I'm looking at Alec Burke. I'm like, where the hell did these shooters come from? I didn't see this coming. I mean, is it something that you knew they had? Is it something they worked on in the offseason? What is it? Where did this come from?
Stephen A., I'm telling you, the veterans have been fantastic, and it starts with Julius. The amount of time that he puts in to shooting each and every day. We do a lot of shooting in practice. These guys come early, they stay late, and they come back at night. And so your confidence is going to come from your preparation. If you're willing to put the work in, I think grooving your shot, but also I think the most important part is taking the right threes. We don't want to take random wild threes where it hurts us in defensive transition. We want to take the right ones where there's penetration, force the defense to collapse, spray the ball out, make your rim read at the rim, and then make the extra pass. And if we do that, we know when the ball is going to be shot. We're going to have a good chance at a second shot, and it also will allow us to get our defense set and get back. And so I think all of that factors into that. But you need a team that's willing to sacrifice and play for each other and be disciplined. And our players have done that. They've done that all year.
You spoke about R.J. Barrett and his development. I want you to speak about him and Derrick Rose. I mean, Derrick Rose, Monday night, he drops 25. He hits 11 of 15 shots. He's reminding everybody on the 10-year anniversary of him capturing league MVP honors that he still has it. What about their contribution? You spoke about it. You alluded to it earlier. But how valuable have they been to this franchise thus far?
Well, RJ, you can't lose sight of how young he is. He's only 20 years old. And so what he's doing right now, he's always had the ability to get into the lane. He's finishing a lot better. He's shooting the ball terrific. And he's put a lot of extra time in. He's come back at night. He shoots on a gun. He's getting a ton of threes up. And you can see his confidence growing day by day. And defensively, he's made huge strides. And so that's been a very important part of our development. You can count on him for virtually 20 points every night. And also his playmaking and his rebounding has been a huge factor for us. And the thing about Derrick is we all know the type of player that Derrick is. And so the only time Derrick has ever been slowed down is when he's had injuries. So whether you went back and you looked at the first time that he was in New York, he had good numbers there. He had good numbers with me in Minnesota. And he was a huge part of helping that team get to the playoffs. We signed him late in the season. I think we were 6-3 the last 9 games.
Yep.
And he played very well in the playoffs for us. He was terrific the next year. And so I felt like he was the type of guy that we needed, a veteran who had been through a lot of things. And, on top of the world at 22, an MVP, best record in the league, impacts winning. I believe we're 21-8 with him this year with a huge scoring margin or net efficiency of an 8.0. And so the thing of his impact on winning, his ability to get into paint. He's got great chemistry with Julius in the pick and roll. There's a lot of things that he adds to the team, but the adversity that he had been through, to go through the injuries, 3 consecutive years of rehab, and then to be at the point that he's at, and he's always been a team first guy, whether he was the MVP at 22 or where he is today. So I thought that would be invaluable to our team. I'm glad that Leon did what he did to get him here, and just the way he's played, and the impact on everyone, our young guys. And, we've gotten great contributions from a number of different people.
Yeah.
I think Elford's ball pressure has been huge for us. His size, Nerlens' rim protection has been huge. Reggie Bullock, sort of an unsung hero. He's shooting over 40 from 3, but he guards everyone. He's an elite defender.
Very, very last question. What will define success for you this season? Is it making the playoffs? Is it making a run into the playoffs? For you personally, what would make you say this has been a successful season for the New York Knicks?
Well, I think when we started the season, we had a number of goals in mind, but the biggest one was building the foundation and building winning habits. We wanted to establish a winning record at home, and we wanted the focus to be on the day-to-day, on improvement. So I don't want to put a lid on our team. And the only thing we're thinking about is practice today, preparation for Denver tomorrow, and take it step by step. Don't skip over anything. Don't look ahead, and keep trying to get better. And, we want to be strong on both sides of the ball. I think we've got a top 5 defense right now. The three-point shooting is really coming on. We're scoring the ball, and we want to be playing our best at the end of the year.
Well, you go ahead and think about that. Let me tell you what fans are thinking about. We're thinking about an MVP candidate. We're thinking about a Coach of the Year candidate. And we're thinking about the playoffs for the first time in Lord knows how long. The great Tom Thibodeau, as a Knicks fan, thank you so much for doing the job that you have done, Coach. Love you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Stephen A. We love you, too.
All right, my man. Take it easy, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.